I'm pretty sure I could get elected president without telling you what any of the decisions would be. Because the moment I tell you what the decision will be, you should stop trusting me. The best political way to sell something is to sell the other side's argument first. That makes you look credible. If you can explain the other side's argument as well as they explain it, and even better, it would be better, right? If you can explain the other side's argument as well as they can explain it, and then you tell why your argument might be a little bit better than that, well, at least you're credible. At least, right? You're not trying to just be a manipulative, dick, which is pretty much every politician at this point. Here's just a throwaway thought that I like to inject into the universe every now and then. There are a number of things that we argue over politically that we don't need to. And I would argue that immigration is one of those weird issues where the way we're approaching it is super disruptive, and it makes us fight with each other about where immigration should be and what's right and who's really the Nazi, and all the crazy stuff. But what if, let's say I'm president. The day I become president and people say, what is your immigration policy? I say, I'll figure that out. Here, we're going to use a system. And the system is going to be this. I'm going to get the smartest people, bipartisan economists, and I want them to tell us what measures we should look at in the economy or crime, or maybe drugs, etc. Which measures should we look at to decide how much immigration to let in any given year, and from what countries? Why don't we just have a set of rules that says if the GDP is over 4%, which would be really good, then you let in a little bit more workers because you're going to need workers. If the GDP falls or unemployment reaches a certain rate, you cut it back because you don't want to be competing with your internal workers. Well, if I'm president and I present you with that proposition and say, look, let's take you and I out of this. Why am I arguing with you when neither of us really know the right answer? Do you know the right number of people to let in to make the economy better versus too many? Do you know that? How would you know that? How would you possibly know what is the right number of immigrants to let in? You don't know that. I don't know that. So pretending that we know the right number is just like a stupid argument. It's just two stupid people who don't know anything arguing with each other with their stupidity. Nobody knows the right number. But if we got this bipartisan group together and they said, look, under these conditions you let in more, under these conditions you let in fewer, under these conditions you let in, let's say, more people with technical degrees from India and other countries, under these conditions you let in more workers, it should be fairly objective. Now, the people who come up with these standards could easily be wrong. That's how economic things are, right? They're not usually that good. Economic projections and any kinds of triggers and stuff like that. They're always going to be really gross. But at least it would keep us from fighting with each other. Wouldn't it be better if we were all just fighting with the algorithm and saying, hey, I don't think you should be 4%. Maybe you should take that down to 3.5%. That would be a far more unifying argument to have. So why am I arguing with another citizen when we should be on the same side? Right? We should be on the same side. We should be arguing about the process. We shouldn't be arguing about the people. As soon as you're arguing about me, you're on the wrong topic. Let's figure out a process, a system that works at least as rational, even if it's not perfect. If I ran for president, I would do it without telling you what my policies are. And I would win. Here's how I'd do it. I would tell you what system I would use to arrive at my decisions. And that's all I would tell you. I wouldn't tell you what the decision will be. I might predict what I think it will be, but I won't tell you what it will be. I'll tell you that the way I'll deal with it is I'll bring in the people on both sides. I will publicize it. I will actually broadcast my conversation with both sides. We'll have some iteration where I've got some questions and they have to come back to me with some answers. And when it's all done, I will present both arguments. As president, I will present the argument that I disagree with as well as I can. First. So I would present first the argument I disagree with, and I would do the best job I could of genuinely selling it. And then I would say, we understand why people think of this, because it's a pretty strong argument. Then I would say, the full argument for the other side, let's say the side I've agreed to back, and I would say, this is a good argument too. And when I compare these two good arguments, I feel that this one has a little more value. Here's why. We can't know which is better, because it's a complicated world and predicting things is crazy. But we can know this one has some qualities that we're looking for as a country, perhaps, or maybe some risk management qualities that we would all appreciate. I'm pretty sure I could get elected president without telling you what any of the decisions would be. Because the moment I tell you what the decision will be, you should stop trusting me immediately. Because between the time that I say this is what I would do and the time that I could get elected and do anything about it, there could be a lot of new information. I might find out things that I didn't know. I might become president and get the secret information and the homeland security information I didn't know before and change my mind. So I'd rather tell you, here's my process. I'm going to try to follow the Constitution. Got some basic rules of what is fair and right for the world, but basically I'm going to let people argue it out in public, and I'm going to give full attention to the minority argument or the argument that's not going to win. Full attention. You have to give them complete attention. Otherwise, you're not credible. That's what most of our politicians are doing wrong today. The best political way to sell something is to sell the other side's argument first. That makes you look credible. If you can explain the other side's argument as well as they explain it, and even better, it would be better, right? If you can explain the other side's argument as well as they can explain it, and then you tell why your argument might be a little bit better than that, well, at least you're credible. At least, right? You're not trying to just be a manipulative, dick, which is pretty much every politician at this point.